10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So, I'm doing, look how close I am, I'm doing a Lancaster. I'm doing a Lancaster 1 in 48. Now, I have already done a Lancaster 1 in 48, Tamiya one, and that turned out absolutely spot on. I got that from Ev in Wales. But, well, this is where I'm up to, look, you can see. Okay. Excuse me. So down at club, I'm chatting with, I'm sanding. Down at club, I'm chatting, right, have a minute here. Really, really soft sanding sponge. Little bit of Mr. White, you can see how much I've got left because used that on Chuffing Concord. Soft sanding sponge, put it on, left it a couple of hours, and now I'm very, very carefully sanding that down. And we'll see what it looks like in 10 minutes whenever I go, but I'm just going to keep nattering on. So I got this one from Fraser. Fraser still owe you a fiver, mate. And down at the club, and I've said this on my previous videos, down at club a couple of weeks since, might have been about a month ago, we set the airbrush station up, and one of our relatively new chaps, Mark Liddle, who turned out to be an absolute bloody superstar. He comes along and we're sat at the airbrush station and he says, oh, I've got this new paint, do you want to have a look at it? And I go, yeah, go on, let's get airbrush out, let's have a look, what we got? And I think it were an Alclad metallic paint. And what we did was, it got a bit of a Spitfire built. I think it was a 1 in 72, so just a little small thing, black based, and he put some, I think he put some Tamiya black on it, and we shot this Alclad through, and I'm not kidding, we were both like, what the, unbelievable. And I said, chuffing hell, Mark, that's absolutely incredible paint. What are you going to do with that? And he says, do you know what? I've always fancied a desk piece. So what do you mean you've always fancied a desk piece? What do you mean desk piece? He said, oh, well, you know, sometimes you can like look on Amazon, eBay and stuff like that, and you can see those metallic sort of aircraft, and you know that they're made out of metal. And it's like a desk weight, it's like a paperweight. And I go, oh yeah. And then start sort of thinking, you know, like you do. And I said, well, what you got? What are you going to do? He says, I've got a 1 in 48 Hawk. It's the NHS one, but I weren't really that fussed about doing it in the NHS. I wanted to see if I could turn it into one of those desk weight, paperweight things, a desk piece. And I go, right, okay. So he cracks it as a bash and brought it down to the club last Saturday. Today is the 21st of, I've got to do this, 21st of October 2022. So Mark brings the Hawk down that is turned into like a desk piece / paperweight, and he's painted it in this metallic. Now that's, when we were talking about it must be a month ago, and then obviously we've had club since then. Brought it down, but in the meantime, cogs are turning in my head. I'm like, I want a desk piece. Do you know what I mean? I want a desk piece. Now, for people that have seen my vids in the past, you know I'm not a massive World War II builder. He says building a chuffing Lancaster. I'm not really a big World War II builder. I much prefer a fast jet. Nice them, aren't they? I much prefer a fast jet than a propellered plane. And again, I've said in past, I think I put it down to, I've got no RAF connection whatsoever, me. I put it down to, apart from, when I was a kiddie, 13, 14, 13, might have been younger, 12, mate of mine moved from Leeds to the village where I lived. Glenn, my mate Glenn. I say my mate, I ain't chuffing seen him for about, well, I think last time I saw Glenn we were both 17, we're both same age, we went to different schools. I went to a regular high school, Glenn went to a Catholic school. I think that was more to do with his parents than anything. And, you know, we had some really cracking years together. Right from sort of like 11, 12 maybe, lecking out like you do when you're kids. And he joined the Air Cadets, the ATC. And, you know, there's me and a couple of lads one day, we're walking up street with a football under his arm and 10 Benson edges. Like you do. And he stood at bus stop in this uniform like, where's that going? I says, oh, I'm in cadets. At Ponty, 2460 Squadron, I can still remember it. Even though I'm 51. And, alright, what's that all about? Now, bearing in mind, think back to my Spotlight Star, I had actually had some kits as Christmas presents when I was probably about 9 or 10. So I did sort of like it. I says, oh, it's at Ponty, I'll go on bus, and this time to the bus fare back in them days from Fitzwilliam, where I was born, to Pontefract, which is like 7 mile ago, 15 pence. I can remember that. 15 pence. Why don't you come? And I didn't even get a second thought. Yeah, whatever. Kicks ball over at fence, fought lads to go and play soccer. And I jumped on bus. And then, literally, the rest of it is a bit of a blur because I've sort of signed up. You don't have to sign out. I just started going regular, and, you know, you get sort of measured up and you get kitted up and one thing or another. And then they gear a nice little blue uniform and off you go. There is an end to this story. Bear with me. So this one particular year, you have to put your name down for camp, and I did. And it was in Abingdon in Oxfordshire. I think it's in Oxfordshire. And we went for a week, and one of the things that I saw, bearing in mind at this age I'm like 12, 13 at most, tall, gangly, thin as a lap, ginger. But it weren't really uncool to be ginger in them days. Ginger was just ginger. And I've told this story before. They got a Tornado engine strapped to the dolly on the outside of the hangar. And they made all those young cadets stand about 100 foot away. And they lit it up. Proper full on. And again, as you know, I keep backpedaling with this story, don't I? And again, as you know, like, I try not to swear on my videos, but even I can remember at that age going, what the unbelievable. And I think that's where my love of fast jets comes from, seeing that engine. Because if you're a car enthusiast and you see a car bombing down the street on YouTube or, you know, in real life, and he's doing like 100 mile an hour, 150 mile an hour, or he's burning out, you know, burning his tyres. Like, of course, we can all afford to do that. That's the dad in me coming out. I mean, you know, you're into it, or if you see a fast locomotive, you know, there's something that stirs inside you, isn't there? There is something that stirs something inside of you. Now, that might be, like I say, it might be a car, might be a train, might be a motorbike. For a lot of people, it's the sound of a, you know, the piston engine with the pump, 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 pump. It's the sound of that. But for me, it was the raw, brutal power of a Tornado. engine on a dolly, strapped up. And I think, like I say, I think that's where I get it from. So, back forward. So Mark says, yeah, I've made this paperweight, pump sort of desk thing. And then me being me, I go, I want a desk thing, like I say. But I can't just do, you know, actually, when I come to think about it, I actually done in 172 Lancaster. But no, can't do it, can I? I have to do a 1 in 48 Lancaster. And that's what I'm doing. So, the short story to this is I'm actually doing a 1 in 48 Lancaster as a paperweight in bare metal. Has that sunk in? Now, some of you will be watching this and going, bare metal Lancaster are you off your tits? I must be. However, Mark obviously did his hawk in pure aluminium. Whereas the more and more idea I think about this Lancaster, I'm having it in flight. I'm going to try and put I'm going to try and put some lights into the belly of it, some LEDs off Ev, who I will be seeing down at Telford on 12th of next month. So if you go to Telford on 12th, Saturday the 12th of November, look at the face. I'll be in my Sesco top, not my work gear. I'll be in my Sesco gear. Me, Dave Housecroft, Trev, Bill, Mark, Ange, Paul Patten, Martin Beddow, Craig Stins, a couple of kids. There's quite a few of us going. So if you see my face and you watch my videos, give me a thumbs up, say hello, you know, I mean, I don't bite. And I'll say hello back. And if you've watched my videos, then let me know. Otherwise, how would you know me, of course, unless you see me on Facebook. And you'll see I'm just a normal kind of wazzard, right? But back to station. So 1 in 48 desk piece Lancaster in bare metal. And like I said, some of you will be thinking that is absolutely nuts. To do a bare metal Lancaster in, you know, just like an aluminium colour. What a waste of a pretty good kit, really. But I've already done a Lanc in proper colours. Nice, that, isn't it? It is. But this one, so it's all sort of tying in, you know, with Fraser having one for sale. I've got a couple of quid. Mark with this hawk that he's done in bare metal, done it in aluminium. I want to do another one. I want to do a desk piece, etc., etc. And can't believe this has turned into a chuffing video. We're only sanding some seams down. So, but the more and more I think about this concept, I'm not just going to paint it in, you know, like an aluminium paint. I'm looking over there because that's where my paint is. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do the underside of it in probably a MRP steel, which is a really dark metallic. But then on top, I'm still going to do the camo pattern, green and brown, as you know. Which is lightest colour? Is it the green or the brown? Probably are they both same? You know, if you looked at it in black and white, you'd be able to see one were green and one were brown, wouldn't you? Well, I suppose when I look at a picture in black and white, one's going to be aluminium on the camo pattern, and one's going to be like maybe a gunmetal kind of thing. I haven't made my mind up yet. I'm waiting to see Fred down at Telford in less than a month. Boo-boo! And I'm going to talk to Fred about it, and he's going to throw a couple of pints my way, hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'm going to sort of do this bird in that. So like a steel belly, steel under wing, and then an aluminium and a gunship grey on top. Under the fuselage, which is down here, I'm going to pop, that's the top. I'm going to have to look, obviously, when they did because this is the Dam Buster one, so when they did the Dam Buster raid, I do believe that they had 2 lights on that went like that. And obviously the lower the flow, you know, the lights met and they knew when to release the bomb. So I'm hoping that he's trying to get me some light fittings together with a couple of LEDs. I'm going to stick one here, mount it up on a stand. I'm just going to say a stand for the time being. And we're going to use this, I think he called it a reed switch. We're going to use a reed switch so that when you put a magnet on, it turns the lights on. And I'm going to go try and go for the brightest LED that I possibly can. Now, the reason that I'm going to do that is because not only do I want it as a desk piece, I actually want to turn this into a lamp. I'm starting to talk crazy now. What I want you to do is imagine this. Dark room, it's not like I live on my own. Dark room, darkish, watching telly, right? And you're looking over in the corner and you can see, you know, you've got your Lancaster in flight. And you think, I just want a little bit of light in that corner. So you go and put your magnet on and those 2 LEDs shine down. And hopefully, you know, cast a shadow and one thing and another. And I'm hoping that's what I've got in my head. Does it sound a bit nuts? That's what I'm going to achieve by doing this. To mount it, and again, you know, I've got ideas, but again, I'll throw it out to you that's watching this, all 668 of you now, looking pretty good. So, so what I thought was, as the wings, look at chuffing state of that. So what I thought was, if I sort of drilled a hole, not a massive hole, just like, well, just a tiny little hole. If I put a hole sort of like here, right, okay, and then same on the other side, which is full of filler. So let me just have a look. So it's going to be like that, isn't it? All right, I'll turn it that way. No, I'll turn it that way. Okay, so it's sort of like going to be like that. All right, obviously like that. And you can see if I drill a hole here and I drill a hole here and down the centre, once it's all attached, if I drill a hole, you know, sort of like at a thickish point, that, where am I going with this? Right, so it's there, look, let me just put this together. So you can imagine that's the, if I drill a hole sort of here, and then I've got a wing coming out and a wing coming out, if I put a hole here in the wing, and then what I want to try and do is get you know, some kind of stand, probably about 3.5, 4 feet tall. But when it gets to a certain point, I want to branch off into a tri-3 pinged point sort of thing, right? So how can I explain this? Cocktail stick, 3 cocktail sticks, right? So what I've got, if I get a couple of cig filters and I stick them, I'm gonna need my glasses on, bear with me while I keep chatting. If I just do this, I'll be able to show you exactly what I'm gonna be looking for. 1, 2, 3 into there, right? So that's sort of like gonna be, you know, and then what I want to do is put, from that I want to put one there, like that, one there, splayed out like that. Let me just see if I can do this. One there, that's gonna go, and the aircraft is coming this way. Where's my camera? It's there. Right, so the body is going to be this way and the wings are going to be one here and one here. And that one will lean to the back like that. Okay, so the wings, these 2 will go onto the wing like that, and then this one will go there, sort of like that. Does that make sense? Like a triangle type of thing, with the 2 LEDs coming down, painted in the different metallics, as this is turning into a desk piece, paperweight, light, lamp, for in a dark room. I have absolutely lost the plot, haven't I? Completely and utterly lost the plot. However, I've started it now, so I've got to keep going. I don't do shelf cleaning. Not like some. So that's where I'm up to. But because it's gonna be bare metal. I'm saying bare metal. I'm not actually putting any bare metal foil on it. I'm gonna do it all in this alclad paint, like I say. But because I'm gonna do it in the bare metal, it's got to be absolute. The build has absolutely got to be bang on. Because, and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm kidding. Tell me I'm lying. As a modeler, there's certain things that we all accept, or I wanted to say get away with, because we all get away with certain things, whether it's a seam that's hidden, or a decal that's put ever so slightly in wrong place. There's no perfect model out there, is there? Definitely not. I've got some wet wipes, so I'm just going to give that a wipe now and see what I'm like. Now I've bored you to death for the last 20 minutes. But feel free to comment on what you think to this project, whether I'm mad as a box of frogs, or whether you think, do you know what, actually, that doesn't sound too bad at all, doesn't that? Imagine camo pattern on that wing. The proper camo pattern as well. I'm not just going to like squiggle it and randomly make it up, like a lot of people do. It will be actually the proper camo pattern on all the bird, but instead of using the green, the dark earth and the green, I'm going to use a different metallic and make this into a lamp, come paperweight, come desk piece, come whatever you want to call it, and see where I go. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you something else as well. I know it doesn't matter about the brand, right? I am waffling now. I've got a pack of wipes, antibacterial wipes, 50, 100, 50, they're coming to 50. And I'll tell you what, it's always handy to have a pack of these on your bench for when you're sanding, because you can see now it's all, I mean, it's all streaky, but bit of kitchen towel, and I'll just give that a wipe. But they're really handy to have at the side of your bench, because it gets rid of all the dust, so that you're not painting over dust, and then you can give it a good old wipe down with a bit of kitchen towel. Just get a pack of wipes, off at cleaning aisle down at your supermarket or wherever. Pick these up from work, and you know, you can see now I ain't got no dust on there, and I can also see now, because that's clean, right, I can see where I've been with the sanding stick. I always use my little fingernail just to see if I can hear like that. Actually, I was doing it there, not there. Spot on, absolutely spot on. And again, because it's going to be bare metal, it has to be. I can't have schoolboy seams in, can I? Okay. That's a bit of an update, 25 minutes worth. Thanks for watching. Comment below if you let me know what you're building. You watch me, you know, let me know what you're building. Okay. Let's see if I've built it. Let's see what I think of it. Let's see if you can say to me, because I always struggle on what to build. I've said it before, I've got to properly love what I'm building. And maybe you can say to me, Mark, I don't know if you've seen it, mate, or I don't know if you've tried it. I know you love a fast jet. Have you considered? Have you seen this kit? This is beautiful. This is a nightmare to build, but it turns out absolutely spot on, etc., etc. I do like a challenge. I don't do Lego. I do know that there's a little bit of work to go into a kit. So if you've got a recommendation that you think that I can have a look at, especially with Telford coming up, because I have got some money in my pocket, not literally, and I am going to go down for another Tornado, the Italieri one. There's I think it's an IDS and an ECR version out or coming out, both which I was like, oh yeah, got to have all three, and I'm hoping that they'll bring the F3 out as well, the long range interceptor. But as far as, I'm torn now, because as far as the IDS and the ECR variants are concerned, only sort of run by Germany and Italy. Note against countries, obviously, not racist in the slightest. However, as far as the build is actually concerned, I do like the GR variant. And as a Tornado builder, how many of them, how many squadrons, how many bases were it on, how many squadrons used it, how many colour variants are there of it? There's literally, I'm not going to say hundreds because they're in hundreds, but there's literally hundreds of GR4s. And back in my cabinet, I'm full of GR4s, all GR4s. Because it's just such a, for me, the Tornado, it's just sheer brutal power. And like I say, I think that comes from back in when I was in cadets, when I was a kiddie. I wish I have got a photo somewhere of me, and I'm literally, the tallest kid there, 6'4", age 14, always been tall. So I do like the GR, but I was going to go out of Telford hoping I might be able to sort of sway me head into getting either the ECR or the IDS. But I have been talking to Jim tonight, and I've said on the Tornado signal, I've said, show me Deckel's, mate, because he's got it. And I'm not overly struck because the majority of the ECRs are tiger meat, and it just does not sing to me to do a tiger meat Tornado. I can't fall in love with it. I can't. But put a GR under my nose and I'm like, marry me. Sort of thing. Got a wife upstairs. So I do like the GR4s. Okay. If you see me down at Telford, give me a tap my shoulder, say hey up, etc, etc, and I'll give you as much time as I can while I crack on with project. As usual, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Catch you later. Cheers.